do you think about their decision to release them largely unredacted on its website?
I'm very pleased that the Kielburger Group have responded to Parliament and posted those documents. We need to examine those documents and verify those documents. We have had contradictory statements made regarding payments and involvement, and certainly documents that we've seen from the unredacted documents in the federal government contradict some of the positions that the Kielburger Group gave us. But they recognize that Parliament has a right to look at these documents. They're providing those documents. We will look at those documents. And so we're saying to the Liberals, why is the government trying to block the documents?
One of the pieces of information that came out of these documents is that Sophie Gregoire Trudeau was paid that one speaking fee of $1,500, and she attended 8 events between February 2012 and March 2020 for a total reimbursement of close to $24,000. This was for things like hotels, car services, flights, hospitality, those types of things. I'm wondering what you think about these expenses and whether they should be repaid.
Well, I think that we now know definitely that Madame Gregoire was paid a certain amount of money by we. That certainly raises questions about the Prime Minister being in a conflict of interest, because under the Conflict of Interest Act, he has an obligation to handle his private affairs so he's not within a conflict of interest, and direct payments to his family, whether it's $1,000 or $100,000, does put him in a conflict, and that's the whole issue of recusal. I think what we'd like to do is examine these documents, but also Speaker Spotlight documents should confirm whether those were the total payments made to Madame Gregoire, and then we can make a decision. But until we have the documents from Speaker Spotlight, we still don't know if these were the total payments. And I say this not to say I don't trust the Kielburger Group, but we have heard many contradictory statements regarding how much the Trudeaus were paid leading up to this. This is why we want the documents. This is why we want to verify this so we can move on.
Marika Walsh with the Globe and Mail. I'm wondering, have you spoken with the Liberals? What is your understanding of how they will respond today, or is there no discussion? I mean, on Friday, the House Leader said that they were open to negotiations with the other parties. His phone line was open. So what's happened since then, and what's your expectation for what's going to happen next?
Well, right now, we have put an offer on the table to set up a committee. Our concern is the Liberals figure they could just turn this committee into something that's run by the Liberals, where the Liberals set the agenda. We don't need another committee that doesn't get answers. We already have committees that are being blocked from that work. So our message to Mr. Rodriguez is saying, you don't like the Conservative motion? Fine. Work with us on a credible pandemic spending program committee that can get answers. But to do that, we need to know that this isn't going to be just another effort by the Liberals to buffalo our work. And I would say that if we're not getting answers at this new committee, then I would, as a member of the Ethics Committee, continue the study we're doing. So we can do this. It's not all that hard.
Okay, and for the benefit of my colleagues who are covering the latest with the Mi'kmaq fishery, you mentioned several times New Brunswick. I think you mean Nova Scotia.
Sorry, Nova Scotia,
so,
yes.
Can you just so they have a quote from the NDP on it, can you just tell us what you think the federal government should be doing right now to address the violence in Nova Scotia? And what do you make of the federal government's response so far, the fact that they're calling for a debate right now in the House?
Well, you see, there you go with this we thing. It's not only caused the dumbest political scandal in history, but it's completely upended my sense of Canadian geography. So this is the kind of stuff that this government's plunged us into. No, I think that the situation on the East Coast is staggeringly unacceptable. The threats, the violence, the intimidation that has been laid against Indigenous fishers in Nova Scotia is sending shockwaves across Indigenous communities and non-Indigenous communities across Canada. And what's really deeply disturbing is the lack of action by the RCMP. And the federal government needs to send a clear message that we have to be willing to protect Indigenous treaty rights. And I had mentioned, and I'll mention it again, in New Brunswick, we saw a showdown with peaceful protesters, Indigenous protesters at Elsipogtog First Nation, and they sent in hundreds of armed police. They came in with live sniper rifles. They threatened Indigenous people who were protecting their territory. And yet, when we see acts of terrorism in neighboring Nova Scotia against Indigenous fishers, the RCMP sitting on the sidelines is not good enough. We don't need more talk on this. We need action. We need the government to send a clear message that they will defend the rights of Indigenous people to practice their livelihood.
Hi, I'm just wondering what you hope will come from the emergency debate, if that does happen, other than just talk.
Well, what we've seen across Canada is this is a nation that was built, and its great success was built taking the resources from Indigenous communities and marginalizing them and leaving them in abject poverty. The rights of Indigenous people to share in their resources have been defined by the courts. These are fundamental rights. We need the government to take a lesson from what's happening in Nova Scotia with the attacks against Indigenous fishers, to send a message across Canada that Canada will not allow this racist threat and this racist violence to continue, that the right to fair access to resources has been defined by the courts. It must be defended by the RCMP. And it's not good enough for the RCMP to say, well, we're sitting back and watching both sides when one side is so clearly engaged in violence and intimidation.
And once again, we're going to check on the phone to see if we have another question. Operator, do we have a question?
Please press star 1 at this time. If you have a question, veuillez appuyer sur étoile 1 si vous avez une question. There are no questions registered at this time. Nous n'avons pas de questions pour le moment.
Thank you very much. Merci bien.
This concludes the press conference. Ceci met fin à la conférence de presse. Merci.
Black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. They, of course, a virtual reality company. You can check out their content at Seek.com, CEEK.com. You can do so, of course, with these VR headsets. You can look at it, of course, on your regular device or your pad or your computer. But if you want to experience being in the room, you can use this headset right here. All you simply do is just pop in your cell phone in here, pop it on, and then put this headset on, and you can literally experience their content in virtual reality. And so allows for you to do a 360-degree view of the room. But also, folks, they have the 360-degree 4D headphones right here. These are Bluetooth headphones. They have complete surround sound in terms of as you hear the particular music. Gamers love them as well when they're playing their games. And so it's just phenomenal bass in these headphones as well. You can get one or both devices at Seek.com using this promo code RMVIP2020, RMVIP 2020. So we certainly thank the folks at Seek.com for being a partner with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks, y'all know what time it is.
No charcoal grills are allowed.
I'm white. I got you, bro.
Yeah, illegally selling water without a permit
On my property.
Whoa!
Hey!
You don't live here. I'm uncomfortable.
Now check this out, y'all. A Trump supporter identified as Robert Brissett was filmed taunting Black Lives Matter supporters with homophobic slurs before violently coughing on them at a gas station in Utah.
You Democrats, Black lives don't matter, all lives matter. You look like a little pansy-ass piece of shit, you. So do you. Oh, I'm so scared of your fucking virus. You know what? I can charge you with assault for hitting me. I can charge you for assault for hitting me. So fuck off. Bad enough you're talking shit to me.
Hey, that's also assault for talking on
Fuck you.
So, I mean,
Fuck you. You insulted me first. You insulted me first. Fuck you.
I keep telling y'all, whoop that ass. You first of all, you're coughing in my face, and he says I can charge you with assault. With coronavirus going on, that might not hold up in court, Scott. So you're a lawyer in this coronavirus deal. Dude comes over, minding your business, starts coughing in your face. Can I whoop his ass? Is that assault?
If he knows.
No,
Yes.
actually, courts have ruled previously in previous cases, not with regards to coronavirus, but other communicable diseases, that any attempt to infect another individual against their will is a form of assault. So, you can argue that it would be a self-defense situation, but the little guy in the red shirt did try to hit him one time, so I think that might count.
Well, it depends on whether it was met with reasonable force or not. But if it's worse, if he knew he had corona or may have corona, let's say he didn't, and he gives it to them and they can trace it and he dies, let alone he is incapacitated for any amount of time. You're talking about criminal assault. We're talking about a civil lawsuit.
So what you're saying is, I could whoop his ass if I'm protesting and he walks over and starts coughing in my face.
I say yes.
Yeah, that would probably invite an ass whooping. You can't kill him, though. You have to meet force with reasonable force.
I didn't say kill him. I said whoop his ass. Michael?
Well, how hard you going to hit him?
Is because he weaponized the cough. He knew you didn't cough by mistake. It was a cough directly at the people, knowing it would scare them. The people that got coughed
right. It was intentional.
Now, corona. So, yes, Scott, you could whoop his ass.
Cool. Yeah. All right. That's all I wanted to know.
But how hard you going to hit him?
Hey, now, we'll get to that later. But if you cough in my face.
Apprehensive of felonious touch.
Say it again, Robert.
You place the victim in a reasonable apprehension of a felonious touch, so that would vitiate a use of self-defense in any state.
Okay, so that's a nicer way, very professional. Yes, you can whip his ass, but keep my card with you.
Yeah, I'm going to call Robert. All right. I appreciate it, Scott, Robert, Michael. Thank you so very much.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
All right, the folks at Seek.com, black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. They, of course, a virtual reality company. You can check out their content at Seek.com, CEEK.com. You can do so, of course, with these VR headsets. You can look at it, of course, on your regular device or your pad or your computer. But if you want to experience being in the room, you can use this headset right here. All you simply do is just pop in your cell phone in here, pop it on, and then put this headset on, and you can literally experience their content in virtual reality. And so allows for you to do a 360-degree view of the room. But also, folks, they have the 360-degree 4D headphones right here. These are Bluetooth headphones. They have complete surround sound in terms of as you hear the particular music. Gamers love them as well when they're playing their games. And so it's just phenomenal bass in these headphones as well. You can get one or both devices at Seek.com using this promo code RMVIP 2020, RMVIP 2020. So we certainly thank the folks at Seek.com for being a partner with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right. You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. As Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Let's talk about politics, and that is Senator Doug Jones, the only Democratic senator from the Deep South, is running for a full term against former football coach Tommy Tuberville, who, frankly, is just, when I say stuck on stupid, I'm just going to say stuck on stupid. I got no problem saying it. This man has, I don't care what none of y'all say. I ain't about to be impartial, objective at all. This man has no business being in the United States Senate. Do y'all have the audio of when they were discussing the Voting Rights Act? Do y'all have that? Okay. To everybody listening, I want you to undergird yourself to one of the dumbest answers you have ever heard in somebody discussing the Voting Rights Act, which was born out of the black belt in Alabama that this fool Tommy Tuberville wants to represent. Play this.
The thing about the Voting Rights Act is it's, you know, there's a lot of different things you can look at it as. You know, who's it going to help? You know, what direction do we need to go with it? I think it's important that with everything we do, we keep secure. We keep an eye on it. It's run by our government, and it's run to the point that it's got structure to it. It's like education. I mean, it's got to have structure. Now, for some reason, we look at things to change, to think we're going to make it better, but we better do a lot of work on it before we make that change.
What the hell was he talking about, Senator Jones?
You got me, Roland. I mean, I just got to be honest with you. I have yet to figure it out. And I guess the reason I can't figure it out is because he can't figure it out. He has no idea. He has no clue of what he was talking about. And that, quite frankly, I think that once that become public, that is why he is completely underground. He is not talking to the media. He's not talking to the people of Alabama. He is not doing anything but 30-second TV ads.
The thing here is the man wants to be the United States Senator from Alabama. What the hell has he done other than coach football?
Well, he's actually done a few things that are not so good. He coached football, but he quit those last 4 jobs. He tried to run a hedge fund for a year between his Auburn job and Texas Tech. Got money, millions of dollars with him and a partner for people investing, telling those folks that he was going to watch over their money, review their investments and all. Then he quit on them, went to Texas, and guess what happened? His partner embezzled all the money, and he ended up getting sued. He had to settle with the investors. He quit on everybody. That's the main thing. And he's even, he's got a charity fund out there that he raises money for, supposedly for veterans. But the records show that out of every dollar he's raised, only 18 cents go to veterans.